Getting what you want in the right way. This is from the Interpersonal Effectiveness module. We're going to look at difficulties that can come up when you're trying to obtain an objective. So what problems can occur? Because if you can identify the problem, you can quite often solve it and be more effective in getting what you want. So this one's called troubleshooting. When what you are doing is not working for you, you have to have a bit of a check-in, a bit of a review. Think about, do I have the skills that I need to be able to do this? I would think about what you've already tried. Do you know how to be skillful in getting what you want? Do you know what to say? Are you following instructions, or are you just doing your own thing? Because when we lack the skills, we don't know how to act or speak effectively to obtain our objectives. Quite often, if we don't know how to do this, we run the risk of damaging relationships or losing our self-respect in order to get what we want. We've all been there, and quite often it's just a case of that we've just not simply been taught how to adopt these approaches and these skills, and being effective with communicating with other people. But the good news is that you can learn, so you can develop these skills at any time. Do I really know what I want from an interaction? That's what you have to ask yourself. Am I undecided about what I really want? Am I unsure of my priorities? Am I having trouble balancing? Am I asking too much versus not enough? Am I saying no to everything versus saying yes to everything? Is fear or shame getting in the way of knowing what I really want? Not knowing what you want in a situation can make it almost impossible to be effective. Because if you don't know what you want, you kind of leave getting what you want to chance. So you might get it by accident, but you also might not, because if you're not kind of directing that interaction in a certain way, then who knows what would happen. So it might be that before you even think about getting involved in an interaction or a communication with somebody else about something, that you've got to take a step back. You've got to do a pros and cons list. You've got to do some working out before you're bouncing into a situation. And this is a clip I'm going to play, hopefully, that shows that.
It's about security.
What is that supposed to mean?
Money!
What are you
He's got a lot of money!
Now I hate you, you
Well, I hate
bastard!
you. If you leave here, I hate you.
What
Hey,
are
you
you
if you
even
leave
paying
here.
attention to anything that's been happening
I guess
to me?
not. I think I must have misread all of the
I
signals.
guess you did.
You're bored! You're bored and you know it. You wouldn't be here if there wasn't something missing.
Arrogant son of a bitch!
Would you just stay with me?
Stay with you. What for? Look at us, we're already fighting.
Well, that's what we do. We fight. You tell me when I'm being an arrogant son of a bitch, and I tell you when you're being a pain in the ass. Which you are, 99% of the time. I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings. They have like a 2-second rebound rate, and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
So what?
So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard. And we're going to have to work at this every day, but I want to do that because I want you. I want all of you, forever, you and me, every day. Will you do something for me? Please? You just picture your life for me? 30 years from now, 40 years from now? What's it look like? If it's with that guy, go. Go! I lost you once. I think I could do it again if I thought it's what you really wanted. But don't you take the easy way out.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
I have to go.
Oof, that reminds me of when you're in McDonald's drive-thru and you just don't know what you want. And someone's screaming, "What do you want? What do you want?" This is thinking about short-term goals and long-term goals, and what what might be getting in the way. So is it all now, you know, winning out over whatever you want in the future? Is it emotional mind controlling what you say instead of your wise mind? So we have to think about, don't sacrifice a relationship or self-respect just to get an immediate goal met, or win an argument, or, you know, or reduce distress. Distressing feelings like shame or fear or guilt, they might pop up in a difficult situation where you're trying to get your needs met. And sometimes people just want those feelings to go away. So they might give in, or they might stop pushing to get what they want because they don't want to experience those feelings or any conflict of any kind, and they want everyone to be happy and it all to be fluffy and nice, but that can be at the expense of their long-term goals. So it meets the short-term aim of, you know, keeping everything lovely, but you might fester these other difficult feelings further down the line of, you know, resentment and anger, because actually what you want and what you need is getting pushed to the bottom of the pile. So we have to think about tackling things when we're in our wise mind state and not our emotional mind, because when there's too much heat in a situation, there's too much emotion, it can be really difficult to think clearly. Are my emotions getting in the way of using my skills? Do I get too upset to use my skills? Have my emotions gone so high that I'm kind of over that skills breakdown point? I'm just, you know, you've gone past the point of no return, and you don't say skillful things, and when you're in that emotional place, you make really emotional statements, and which are extreme. You know, you never do this, you always do this. You often say very, very hurtful things. They're really loaded because you feel attacked or you feel threatened in some way. So quite often you want to attack back, and you can say things that you don't mean quite often. They can be quite hurtful. Or you might be one of these people where you get so emotional, you get so over that place that you retreat and you stay silent, or you leave an interaction, which can also be quite ineffective. It depends on the situation, obviously. Or out of control sobbing, you know, you've all done that where no words are coming out, it's just noise. Nobody knows what you're saying. You're not communicating effectively because nobody can understand a word that you're saying. So yeah, I'd say you've gone too emotional there. You've gone past that point of being skillful. And, you know, tears and crying, they have their place and they have their function, and they're not necessarily a bad thing. But sometimes the more you cry, the more distressed you become, and it can kind of perpetuate. And then the more distressed you feel, the more you cry because the more out of control you feel. And it's the same with anger as well. You know, and other intense emotions, they can kind of run away with themselves if you don't pull them back. So in these moments when you've gone above the peak, if you like, you're probably not able to use your interpersonal skills. And you have to ask yourself that question: am I too upset right now to be skillful? And that's when you need to draw on other skills, so the tip skill or the stop skill. And if you don't know what they are, you know, Google them. And those are skills that their aim is to reduce emotional distress. Their aim is to pull you back from that emotional mind place back to wise mind, because you're not going to solve problems in this emotional place. You're not going to be able to get your needs met, get what you want. And this is why it's a good idea to practice these skills when you're not in emotional mind, when you're not in a situation that is very heated, that is very loaded, you know, that there's a lot riding on you getting what you want, or there's a lot in the balance. So practicing things with family, or practicing, you know, meeting small requests, practicing things in a shop, anything that is just not full of heat and that is not a really, you know, make or break situation. Because when you need these skills and that emotion kicks in, you need to have practiced them to be able to use them in an effective way. Another thing that can get in the way can be myths, assumptions, worries. So things like your thoughts, you know, thoughts about bad things blocking you from taking action. So they won't like me, they think I'm stupid, they think I'm an idiot, whatever it is, they're just thoughts, and you've got to challenge them, and they're not facts. So our thoughts about not deserving things also getting in the way. I'm a bad person, I don't deserve this. Well, everybody deserves, to get their needs met, and we all have needs and wants. And so these are things that you need to challenge, and you need to sometimes ignore, or you need to pull on the other skill of check the fact. What evidence have I got to support these assumptions and worries and thoughts? Am I calling myself names that stop me from doing anything? Oh, you won't do it right. You're going to fall apart. You're such an idiot. Quite often we're really horrible to ourselves. We don't actually need anybody else to come in and attack us, because we've got that covered mostly. And we can say the most hurtful things to ourselves that nobody else could even think of. But it doesn't make them right, and it doesn't make them factual. So we have to push through some of these things. So do I believe the myths about interpersonal effectiveness? If I make a request, this will show people that I'm weak, or only wimps have values. So yeah, this is about checking the facts, checking the evidence to support these things. Quite often there isn't any evidence, and you've got to live alongside these things and push through. And lastly, we have to think about power. Are there people who have what I want or need more powerful than I am? Are other people more in control of the situation than I am? Will others be threatened if I get what I want? Do others have reason for not liking me if I get what I want? So sometimes things are above you, if you like, and you can be as skillful as you want, but when there's a power differentiation in a situation, then it doesn't really matter how skillful you are. So for example, if you work for a company that's really, really struggling and you ask for a pay rise, again, it doesn't matter how skillful you are, you're probably not going to get a pay rise, because there are things that are above you, there are things that are out of your control. Or if the police turn up at your door with a warrant for your arrest, again, you could, pull out all your skills and be all lovely and nice and communicate effectively, but at the end of the day, you'll probably still get arrested. So it doesn't work out in every situation, and you don't always get what you want or need, but it's about maintaining relationships and keeping your self-respect and trying to do things as skillfully as you possibly can.